Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weekend. We are live here from Los Angeles in the Blizzard Arena with our second match of the day of the Overwatch League. Semler, Hex, and we're going to have a couple of teams up here shortly, but Hex, we got to get into it first.
Yeah, we've got Philly versus Atlanta, and this is really important for both teams just as far as the season goes. As we end towards stage 3, you start looking at the big picture overall for both of these squads. It's been a rough stage 3 for each of them, but it's not really their fault. Atlanta had the hardest strength of schedule in stage 3 so far, but you see them right there at 13 on the outside looking in is the Atlanta Reign. The Philadelphia Fusion sitting at 9 and 9 and 8, so the Reign really need this one because it knocks Philly down a peg and it moves them up into the slot, and Philadelphia's got to keep their head above water. Stick around, and who knows, maybe they make a run like they made last year.
That's what we're kind of wondering right now with the Fusion, because you got to keep in mind, those guys, they were pretty good last year. They were a real threat. They made the finals. I mean, this is a team that you had to take into account, and yet they've been a little lackluster at the beginning of the season here, first half. Seems like perhaps now that the meta is starting to shift and we're starting to see some more damage dealers, this is where we can start coming back into their wheelhouse. But, I mean, they're still only taking wins off of opponents that they really should be taking off of with the quality of their players.
You can only beat the teams in front of you, though. But last year, you're right, it was the dynamic duo of EQO and Carpe. They were able to win fights 2v6 at certain points. I think Night Market is still one of our all-time greatest highlights for those two. So, yeah, if you can play a little more Genji, which is still one of the least played heroes, but also more importantly, Carpe's been playing some Sombra, which I think helps him a lot in the maps that you have to play 3-3 on areas. But as the meta opens up just into chaos, I think Philadelphia can really start to make a run.
It's that tracking. That's the thing. Is you start seeing, as soon as you saw Prophet on Zarya, now we're seeing Prophet on Sombra. Now we're seeing, like, we're starting to see like the actual aimers on the teams, the guys who deal damage. Hex.
Yeah,
they're starting to get the shine again a little bit at least. Atlanta Reign, as far as their schedule is concerned, you're right, they've had a bit of a tough start to the stage. Shock and Titans, I mean, those are top 3 teams in the league. So you're starting off there, you're gonna get blown up, but they still actually had a score that was fairly respectable versus the Shock.
The first couple were some quality losses, you know, 3 and 2 against the Shock, totally fine. Take a map against the Titans, undefeated Titans, also good. Dragons are a good team. Got Dynasty rocking them, hurts a little bit. So now it's the latter part of their schedule. Like I said, they had by far the hardest strength of schedule in stage 3, so you kind of call it a wash. But now you want to build momentum going into stage 4 and starting to get those season rankings up. And all you have to do is get to that 12th spot, get into the play-in game, and who knows what can happen.
Well, taking a look at it, right, you know, it does look like these are the last 3 teams here. These are all teams that they can beat. On a day, they can definitely take it. So it is not over yet for the Atlanta Reign, and we are now going to bring them out onto the stage. Welcome, the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, the poster boy, face of the franchise, Baby Bay, leading his team out of the tunnel. And this is a team, they've kind of been all over the place. They have a really high ceiling. Sometimes they just look a little bit lost as well, so it's really about which version you're going to get today. But these are 2 mid-level teams that just really, really need the win. We're getting down to it where there's not that many matches left, and you can't afford to have a bad day anymore.
When you got players like Baby Bay as well, who can start to perform in the service, seems like he's starting to come into his own. Also plays to the camera, Hex. That right there, bang, value, full value right there with the Baby Bay. So glad to see he's coming into it.
He's marketable, is what they say in the industry. Daco coming back on this team. He took like 3 games off, I think, in last stage, but he's been one of their better players.
So we'll see how he performs as we're going to get into the match, and we're going to bring their opponents to the stage, the Philadelphia Fusion.
Usually no surprises on the starting 6 for the Philadelphia Fusion, and I don't believe there are any today. Neptuno leads them out by his, followed by his counterpart in Prime in the Sport line in Boombox. And there is the man of the hour, Carpe. He's been considered an MVP candidate all of last year. This year, his Zarya was not one of the best in the league, and he really needed it when everybody was running just pretty much pure 3-3 versus 3-3. But as we've entered in stage 3, even without a great deal of changes to the game itself, the meta has shifted where people are playing more DPS, and then it used to be you'd play DPS and then you'd switch off it, and now teams are just like, yeah, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Which I'm overjoyed to see, because the players, like, this is where you're really going to struggle with the players in terms of they come into the game, they're playing damage dealers, that is their focus, that's where their talent lies, and then the meta shifts on them, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, now I have to play this completely different hero that maybe I don't feel as comfortable with, and it starts to turn into a bit of a grind. So maybe we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here for the player like, you know, Carpe. Daco getting back into it, though.
If Philadelphia starts running some of these damage dealers, some of these snipers, then Dako on D.Va is going to be very important to be able to shut them down, at least pressure them out. A D.Va can actually want a Mercy in the sky as part of the combo, that Mercy out of it. These damage-heavy compositions become very much nerfed. Very good self-destructs here. He does a lot of damage. And very much like Atlanta itself, kind of middle of the pack on D.Va, but they kind of struggled without him.
It seems like it's always been a story of struggle for Atlanta Reign, though, ever since the beginning of the season where they had their Defran issues. They couldn't quite get comfortable there, and then it turned into confidence, and then you start switching around the roster, and when you're constantly just mixing things up like that, it makes it very difficult to start finding that confidence that allows you to win games. Dako, in terms of an individual, I'll get there eventually, individual performance, he's actually looking pretty solid.
And that's really important too, because as we noted, their strength of schedule was ridiculous. So these fifth, fourth ranks are against some of the best teams in the league. So he's performing at his best against the best. And like I said, Atlanta's still very much alive for the season playoff considerations. I know you're probably disappointed. You're pretty much knocked out of stage 3, but you gotta gain some momentum and go ahead. Let's take a look at our map set presented by Toyota.
Exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Hex. You got to keep your head above the water because you're not out of it for the season playoffs yet. You still have a run. You come back strong, end of the stage 3, going into stage 4, start getting that momentum rolling into pretty much the most important time you get into the playoffs where everything's on the line and anything can happen.
In nearly every sport, it's not the best team that wins it, it's the hottest team that wins it. You get a streak going, you get to the dance, you punch your ticket, get all the way to the end. I mean, you think about London last year. We thought London was going home really early in the playoffs, and they end up winning the whole thing. Same thing with Philly. Philly didn't come in as like with the best team, but at the end of the day, our 2 finalists were the teams that were playing the best at the time.
And then you had our teams like New York.
Yes.
Dominated the entire league. Well, we'll see how it plays out this playoffs, New York.
Bastion.
Eyes on you.
We got a bunker comp on Sanctum here. It's going to be the Orisa and Bastion, a kind of quasi-bunker. Really good at putting down a lot of damage, cracking shields if they want to run a mirror composition, but also the Orisa can be so good at her ult ability. I call it yoink sometimes, very much a Simpsons fan, just pulling people into the hole.
Smell that, Hex? It's like a whiff of Roquefort, maybe a blue cheese going into this, because right now it may actually be working. Sato tries to jump in there to put the pressure on. Guess what happens when you stand in front of a minigun? You die. Baby Bay wipes them out. And Philadelphia Fusion, well, they're sent back to spawn. First control for Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, Dogman with a couple of great early kills as well, and then it was all over from there. Philadelphia is going to make wholesale changes on this. You can't really run a Winston into a Bastion composition. It's just not enough health and not enough shielding. So we have double sniper, and Sato's going to move over to the Orisa himself. Now you want to try to maybe get them in a crossfire here. Get one sniper on one side, the other on another. Really try to find a way to get through the shields. Huge shot!
That's a big one to kick things off. Dogman out of it. He was out in the open, completely alone. Brutal. And he'll get plinked. EQO now going to have a field day with these guys. But the Atlanta Reign right now, all they need to do is have a body on the point to contest. By the time Baby Bay gets overwhelmed, but you lose Boombox in the mix for Philadelphia Fusion. A very quick flip, though, for Philly. So now the pressure's on Atlanta to come in here, but Carpe, I bet you when they were calling for the swaps, Carpe just couldn't believe his ears. He had to take him on and be like, wait, I get to play Widow? What?
You see the power of this team when Carpe is on Widow. He's able to just crush it. Gets her already at 91% after just switching to Widow, so he's going to have eyes on it. And that team fight win forces Atlanta onto a different composition as well. So now it's just this chess game, rock, paper, scissors, the way Overwatch was meant to be played. Popo has to go over to Winston here.
You're absolutely right. Adaptation and not wasting time, not trying to stick to a sinking ship. Bail it out and start seeing if you can sail it to victory here, because right now the Atlanta Reign are going to be moving on to the point, and they are putting on quite a bit of pressure. I thought EQO was a goner there, but he somehow survives. Gets the dragon out there screaming. No targets dead, though. Oh, never mind. There's a shot.
I mean, the issue with the composition that Atlanta is running is that if you're not putting pressure on one of these snipers with Popo, you don't have any shields to hide behind either. So you're going to be having to peek in and out. Sato gets brought back up onto the point, and Philly retakes it.
That's so tough to deny that res from Neptuno. Bold out in the open as well. You don't have that brute force that you bring to the table when you have a Widow or a Hanzo. You're going to stand there, Mercy, and go for a res. You're dead. They don't quite have that on the side of the Reign, and so the Philly Fusion are going to stabilize, and they take the lead now. 60% on the board for Philly.
Carpe with 41% scoped critical accuracy. He's only hit 5 scoped critical shots, but he's got 5 eliminations, 5 final blows. And if you can deal with Carpe, then you have to deal with EQO. This is how Philly was able to make their run last year, is that which one do you try to take out of it? Because if a team has two great players, you can't simply focus on one and say, you're not going to beat me. Carpe, guess what? You're not going to beat me. EQO says, I will beat you then.
This is so sick. We're going to have to really see the back line start to make adjustments to how they play this game. They've been playing this game for months thinking, oh, I'm safe. I only have to worry about the other Zen. You know, there's nothing really that can kill me back here. And then all of a sudden now you've got snipers in the mix. You peek that corner, you're going to die. And Carpe, he's going to survive for now. It is a bit of a bit chaotic on the point itself. There will be the flip for Atlanta, but they're holding on to their ultimates on the side of Philly.
Yeah, Atlanta threw in everything there. They sound barrier, they primal rage. Popo gets nothing out of it. Actually ends up giving up his life. Both snipers now in the corner. And now they've got a couple people isolated on the right side. Oh, that was tough. So they isolated the D.Va Poco on one side. We've got Poco and Poco in this matchup, so please bear with me on that one. And then that brought Neptuno to go help him out as they rallied on a Poco, left both snipers alone on the opposing side, and that's where Atlanta put their attention after that. They're able to take that fight. We're in a last fight situation here on the first point in Nepal.
We're seeing a whole gamut of heroes getting brought into the mix now. So Philly Fusion, wholesale changes on their side. Gonna be working into a bit of a mirror here. Going toe-to-toe with the tanks. Carpe dropping dangerously low. They are taking so much chip damage right now, Philly. This is not looking healthy for him. Poco gonna go down, and Taco with a double. Philly running right into the grinder. They can't even get through the door, Hex. There's not gonna be anybody here to touch the point.
Yeah, Poco had to get a new mech there, but he got killed as soon as he dropped out of it. And that is the X factor that Taco brings. Some of the best self-destructs we have in the league. Whew, I think we're in for a tight one today.
I think so too. I think this could definitely go tit for tat back and forth.
Baby.
I just hope that Philly, they're not going to just go straight to GOATs again. They're going to keep trying to make the damage work because it can work. Clearly it can work, but you're just not allowed to make the mistakes that you can make with GOATs. You don't have that margin for error. Doesn't quite pan out for him this time, so let's see what are we going to get from Philly.
More tanks allows more mistakes. That's how GOATs actually became very prevalent, the 3-3 composition. We saw it all during the World Cup, and a lot of the teams, like the Swiss team says, we might run 4 tanks, we might run 5. The more tanks you have, the more mistakes you can make. All right, let's see this Philadelphia Fusion composition. A little bit interesting. They're going to run the Far Mercy. Carpe onto the Sombra. Atlanta Rain, a little bit of the old-fashioned 3-3.
Let's see, EQO. Where's EQO playing from? Okay, backline right now with Mercy on Neptuno. Curious to see if he's going to wrap back around the other side. That is an option here, but for now, Fusion content to just throw rockets in. Dogman, gotta be careful. He's so low on that side. Gonna take him forever, and he's gonna go down. Carpe with the focus fire, but you lose Sato as well. 1-for-1 trade without the main tank here for Philly.
Yeah, but Sato's not really playing that traditional main tank role. He's playing the disruption role to knock people into these rockets for the most part. It's kind of this weird mechanic where they want to hide behind his shields, and you're going to get sacrifices sometimes from your Hammond in that situation. EQ's got to be a little bit careful. Barrage up now, but during all of this, Atlanta's taking control.
Yeah, there it is. Right over the top. It's going to melt that shield. Poco's got nowhere to hide. 2 quick kills coming through here for the Philly Fusion. Atlanta Rain got first control, but it doesn't look like they're going to have it for long.
They should be able to swing this back, Philadelphia, and this sets them up great for their very next fight as well, as Carpe is going to have EMP for this next fight engagement. Atlanta is forced to put Dogman onto the Moira just so he can dodge rockets. Zen is really just a floating target. However, the flip side of that is it's very difficult to kill a Pharah Mercy combo without the Discord Orb of Zen. It takes so much damage to go into that.
I mean, you got the Lighthouse.
Yeah, you can pressure them out with that while everyone else tries to take maybe a 5v6, and then the Lighthouse will come down on your tanks as well to keep them healthy. Coalescence, of course, Lighthouse.
Oh, there's EMP over the top. 4 of them silenced. Poco instantly deleted. Atlanta Raid gonna be sent packing immediately here.
They gotta get Masa. Masa's gonna have barrier now too. I wonder if they're gonna commit it now that they've lost their main tank.
Coming over the top, looking for the slam. Whamma jam, yep. Tried to get it knocked out, nicely done. We will have the grab going in. A couple of kills here for Atlanta Raid. putting the pressure on. Poco out means a lot of damage lost here from Philadelphia Fusion. And EQO, is he going to be able to dodge this? It looks like he barely gets out of the orb's way.
You can see Philadelphia still trying to get some of the wrinkles worked out in this composition because that EMP was pretty huge. It got a lot of targets there, and most importantly, it got some of the supports, some of the healing was down, but the follow-up wasn't there. You get an EMP like that, you expect a lot more kills, especially with the pressure that they had from that squad. It didn't come through, and they end up losing the point because of it. Now Atlanta is going to take the lead. Remember, Atlanta took our very first round here, so they're one round away from opening with a map win.
Now we get the changes coming through as well. So Philly Fusion going to get those tanks on the board. We're looking at Sombra Goats, essentially. Poco with the Zarya, nice grab, bringing him in. That's going to bait the sound barrier out on the side of the rain. And what do they have left to support with? Not a whole lot. Dako gets overwhelmed. Carpe still poking at the flanks. That should be Poco going down. The Hail Mary Shatter doesn't look like it's going to save him.
Yeah, it's all Poco on the cleanup as well. They get everything that they need. A nice stun early on Erster, or a hack on Erster takes him out of the fight. Poco gets nothing with that Shatter. These are such back and forth fights. Now the thing I want to look for here, Carpe is somewhat new on this Sombra. He got a really good EMP before. Now can you get an EMP when your team is in position to follow up and get kills? There's a reason why almost everyone in the league refers to EMP as the most powerful ultimate that they have. They try to pull Sato up over the edge, barely get him. A last-second fire strike. He just didn't have Earth Shatter too. They're committing though.
They're committing into this. And Philly, they can't be feeling too happy about this situation. Dogman gonna get hacked, but Atlanta Reign press forward behind the rally. Erster swinging away, and Poco gets ejected off the side of the map. Looks like we're gonna get a flip back the Atlanta way here, Hex.
It's fine. There's still time for one more fight, and at 85%, we are in that last fight situation, much like our previous point. Again, they kept the important ultimates. They're going to have Graviton, they're going to have EMP, a defensive ultimate from Neptuno, and Atlanta, the cupboard is bare.
It's not looking like they have a whole lot. Maybe we could, yep, there it is. The self-destruct just to initiate, thrown right in their faces. But Poco's gonna use that grab, and that's where perhaps you have the EMP coming over the back as well, and it is looking like Philadelphia Fusion are going to cruise through this one. Atlanta Reign get bodied, and they get bodied quickly.
That one is just about over. Now the question is, can we get a Hammond back onto the point? Can the Moira maybe get back here and touch? They're not going to the Hammond. Poco, rather. It's going to be a long one. Trying to charge back in. They will be able to at least touch the point unless they bash this Lucio sneaking around the edge.
You gotta give it to Carpe. That is a hack that's gonna ruin your day. If you're Poco, no shield to hide behind means you can't stomp your way up, and your teammates are gonna get picked off one after the other, trying to contest. I mean, I don't think that's how Baby Bay wanted to get onto the point. Technically, he got onto the point. I think he wanted to be alive when he got there, though. Still, that's Philly tying up the series 1-1 here on the first map.
And it's so important for Philadelphia to be able to show new looks. I mentioned I think it was their very first match this stage, where it looked like they phoned it in. It looked like they sent replacement doppelgangers up there. They sent in someone playing an AI bot to the stage because it looked like they weren't even trying this first stage. And it was disappointing to me watching at home, to I'm sure their fans. But now you've got all these new looks. You could still revert to 3-3 if necessary on certain points, like an Eichenwald second, something along those lines. But I love this variation. It's not just going, we're just going to run DPS. Now it's like, we're going to run the Sombra variation. We're going to run this. We're going to show you different looks. And this Philadelphia team is looking a little bit more frightening. Now, see, we go back to the traditional 3-3. Both sides in a mirror match. Reinhardt 3-3.
Just face first into hammers. That's what it's all about. It looks like Philly came out a little ahead on that one. Baby Bay, Poco, feeling the pressure. But Atlanta are willing to trade the chip to try and get the advantage in terms of position. They are going to be closer to the point when it unlocks in 5 seconds.
Philadelphia had a really nice displacement movement there. They knocked a couple of people off of the high ground, and that forces Atlanta to take a different angle here. Trying to scramble back, they lose Dogman.
Dogman just way out of position, it seemed, or at least nobody there to body block or help him out. Just caught, and he gets pounced on. Philly lose Sato, though. The main tank once again going down here. Still looking for this fight, but Atlanta Reign refused to give in. Baby Bay's got to be fully charged as well as Carpe. Carpe can't stand in his way.
They take advantage of early trades, and they've taken control of the point here.
There, oh man, Dogman is just having a really rough game.
He's
so
died
far.
by far the most in the server. 10 deaths thus far. Calling people a feeder might be a projection at this point.
Oh, the shields, there's the trance from Boombox. Keeping everybody up, keeping everybody hale and healthy. The baby Faye, not gonna happen. Poco yanks that grab into oblivion. Not gonna bring him in, and you're going to have Carpe instead bringing Poco into the Embrace of Death. And this is still just back and forth between both of these teams. We've lost both Rhines. Poco looking to clear the point. Arster's got his rally, so he doesn't care. He doesn't need a shield. He's just gonna swing away.
Carpe is able to take Dako out of the mix. Now this one is back and forth, but Atlanta's been in control of the point the entire time. And I think right now, even if they lose more people, the call is die on the point, but a toe touch too late. Baby Bay unable to stall it out. They give control back over to Philadelphia, but trade a couple kills for that.
Yes, Baby Bay's gotta be careful. Bubble onto Sato, that's gonna buy him just a little bit of time to take out Erster, but Philly not able to capitalize on it. Atlanta Reign just power back onto the point. 52% and counting now for the Atlanta Reign. They're looking good. Philadelphia Fusion, they've got the backline ultimates up and running.
Well, they lost Carpe there late, so now that energy on the Zarya is completely reset. He's coming out with a wet pool noodle rather than a laser cannon from space. They still have chances here because Carpe, low energy as he is right now, should be able to get a grab, but I think they're gonna wait and try to grab them right through the door. A lot rides on Poco's Matrix here.
He's in position too.
Oh, Baby Bay.
Clever, clever. Oh no, that's brutal. Sato, no way to defend himself. He's splattered against the wall immediately. That's the trap. That's a perfect play there from Baby Bay.
It's the best economic fight you could have had. It's a bank robbery right there. You use one ultimate, you get pretty much a full team kill, a late kill onto Poco. Now Philadelphia has to fight 5v6 into this, but the 5 they have all have ults.
They need to go right now. They need to get on the point right now. Are they gonna make it? They will not. They cannot make it through the door. Atlanta Reign take the first map of the series. Back and forth, we went to all 3 points, but they get the job done.
An absolute brawl of a first match, indicative of what we'll see all day. 43 kills to 42, as close as it gets. But at the end of the day, the Atlanta Reign pull it off. We'll see second map right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности!
There you have it on your screen. Out of the 2 teams that are currently on this stage right now, one of them played in the Grand Finals last year, Hex.
Was it
and
Atlanta?
will be hosting
Oh, no.
the Grand Finals this year. And no, it's not Atlanta. They're hosting the homestand. Be sure to be there if you guys are in the area or fly in. I mean, planes, magical things, you can get there. But be sure to check out the website, overwatchleague.com. Get your tickets. Grand Finals going down in Philly. And hopefully, we'll see Philly play in there too. But if they keep at this rate, Hex, is it going to happen?
I think it's a little frustrating if you're a Philadelphia fan, and it's really easy to kind of throw it at this, like, oh, they played 3-3 on that last stage and they lost. But I want to give credit to Atlanta and some of their setups there, especially in the last couple of fights. They get that really nice grab positioning, and then they're able to solo shatter the next people coming in. So that was about as close as it gets. This one is turning into an absolute brawl. We will be taking our brawl to the moon as we go to Horizon Lunar Colony. Assault.
This is,
Matt?
can we apply that to, or can we apply that idea of like, right now Atlanta are playing to win and Philly are just playing to not lose?
I don't think so. I really think that Philadelphia is just kind of
Atlanta with the proactive plays. Like, I would argue it that way, where it's just like Atlanta are playing to win because they're taking the initiative,
right.
They're being proactive, they're setting things up.
But it's a lot easier to have that set up when you're in control of the point. I mean, I think the problem with that very last one, and before we move on to Assault, was that the very first fight, Atlanta ends up with like 40-something% just because they're sitting on the point the whole time. Even though like Philadelphia's getting kills, Atlanta was just sticking around like a bad cold. All right, on Assault here, defense, Reinhardt 3-3 variation, offense, Reinhardt 3-3 variation. We've seen a lot of teams throw out some DPS on this one, but these teams want to just run straight into each other. 3 yards and a cloud of dust.
This is a tough one though if you're Philly. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You need to go back to this 3-3. And Babyface seems to be finding his groove on Zarya. Carpe though still struggling with it, so we'll see. That's the key matchup going into this. We'll see how they fare. Atlanta Reign will be focusing on the high ground, trying to work their way around to the top. They have definitely taken a lot of damage in the poke battle. And 2 of them will go down. Masa gonna get beamed. Carpe looking for it. There it is.
This matchup really does redefine the term poke battle, doesn't it? Poco, popo.
In a poke battle.
Get it? Ugh, I am not funny at all. All right, reset here, as that is the very first push, completely pushed back. With 4 minutes on the clock on Assault, you generally get 4 of those. That is 1 down, 3 more to go. And see if they see any changes from either side. Nope, why not? A really nice late kill on the Ursa's shield must have been broken.
Where did they find Urster? How was he in range to die at the hands of Philly? Interesting.
And now they have to wait. I mean, you really can't go in 3-3 against 3-3 without your Brigitte. You know, that's your main source of healing on the big front line there. So they have to hold up now. Sato got to his ultimate. It's the only one on the board. Wow, Popo a mile away from his shatter.
He was having a rough time of it in that push. But Sato just gets to keep chilling out up here, throwing flame strikes down on their heads. Just mortar bombs raining in. Trying to knock him out of position, not gonna happen. On to the point we go. Atlanta Reign, they're done trying to fight for that high ground. Instead, they are gonna go ahead and die on the low ground. They're dying on the point. Pokepo and Urster gone. You lose Boombox, and you lose Carpe. They're not done yet. Although, never mind. Losing those 2 is gonna, it's just, you get hope. You get a little bit of hope there for Atlanta Reign. And then Dogman and Baby get clipped, and that's the end of the push.
Yeah, they're looking for the chase instead. So Neptuno had a choice there, whether to chase, try to get those kills, or play taxi. He's gonna do both. They have plenty of time. Offense has to reset here. And now, they're getting into that position now that instead of 4 pushes with 4 minutes, they might be down to like 1 last push, and it's because some of these late staggers are really bleeding out the clock. 90 seconds remain for the Atlanta offense. Only 2 kills so far for Atlanta on this push. Their ultimates are coming online. They will have grab. And this one is about the grab battle here. Carpe, Baby Babe, both tied up on grabs. Who can hit a better one? Maybe the Divas can have a part to play in this as well.
Just favors the poke battle here, that high ground. You get Carpe in position. He just gets to lob grenades down on your head. So frustrating, but Philly gonna change up the angle. That's 1 tick of permanent progress. Looking at 2 here, but there will be the contest. Philly decide now is the time to get in here and start doing the damage. Poco out, or Poco out of it. Poco follows. But there are a few kills for the Philly Fusion, and Atlanta Reign, it looks like with the ultimates, the patience pays off. And they will find success picking up a first point on this assault.
No hesitation. As soon as the Philadelphia Fusion Diva player went down, they lobbed in that Graviton, immediately went for the cleanup. Let's see what kind of snowball potential they have. They did use their big Graviton, they used self-destruct, and they used rally. But on the other side of things, Philly tried to stay in that fight, and they threw a lot away. A better ultimate for Carpe here than the rest of Atlanta has, but maybe you hit a big shatter and you can stay in this. There is a sound barrier to try to help out if they get grabbed as well.
Possibly. Down onto low ground we go. Sato out in the open. He's got that shield up though, but he has got nowhere to hide it. Exactly, there it is. He finds a little bit of a line of sight, but it's a wide open for the shatter. EQO instantly obliterated, but Neptuno will stabilize and we will trade Brigidas. Sound barrier used by the Philly Fusion is helping to make them last a little while longer, but the focus fire on Sato is just so good. And Carpe hanging on by a thread himself. Perfectly timed grab allows Philadelphia Fusion to breathe a little bit here in the defense. And getting that D-Mech and the death of Pokepo is not going to help things here for the offense. Atlanta Reign hanging on by a thread, but that is it.
Atlanta really thought they had another chance into that one, but the grab did come out. The nice thing is that Baby Bay has his grab on the swing back. I mean, you know they were really trying to go for that one because Urster switched to the Hammond to try to get back on the point. I actually forgot that his name was Wrecking Ball. I've been calling him Hammond so often.
True.
I saw the playtime stats today. I'm like, who's that? Oh yeah, the big ball.
Wrecking Ball.
Anyway, Atlanta can initiate now with a Graviton Surge. Boombox has the answer to it in the Transcendence. And also, you can use a defensive self-destruct from Poco if you need to as well.
Eyes on it, you know, that's exactly it. Baby Bay, he's going to be constantly keeping eyes on Poco. He needs to know where he is because he wants to use this grab, and he knows that Poco is just itching, just waiting to go for the D-Matrix here to ruin his day. Bathed in it, sees it's on cooldown now, self-destruct goes down, and there's the grab going out, but that self-destruct could slow down this push. Can they find the value? Turns out that they can. Baby Bay takes down Sato for the Atlanta Reign, and Dogman's there with the trance trying to keep him up, but the players on the other side of the wall will not survive. Baby Bay goes down.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you ever really pull this back without your Zarya. They almost lost their Zenyatta, but a huge armor pack comes in, so this one's not over just yet. Defender's advantage coming in fairly strong right now, though. They spawn right behind the point, and with Pokepo going down, that is the end of that push.
Don't get your hopes up.
7% away from finishing it off. They piecemealed it together, though. They really do get their hopes up again, though. Baby Bay just switches 76 to try to get back. Atlanta thinks that they can stagger these out and turn it into a really scrappy fight. But all last year, we talked about how Philadelphia probably is the scrappiest team in the league, and they end up winning fights that they shouldn't win, and they're kind of channeling that anyway.
You know, you want to fight in the mud? You want to fight in the muck with us?
No sports city is more used to fighting in the mud than the Philadelphia franchises.
It's just, you got Carpe, man. He is doing so much damage right now on the defense with this Zarya. He's really hit his stride. He's got that high energy, and it's making it so hard for the Atlanta Reign to get anything done. Dogman first to die again here for the Atlanta Reign. Not helping things one bit. His team are going to be hanging around, but now they're actually looking, they have to kind of look for a way out of here.
Yeah, they're trying to back up. There was a displacement attempt to knock someone down off of that high ground into the waiting maw of the Philadelphia Fusion.
Would have been sick.
Yeah, 120 left on the clock. Atlanta would do well to maybe bank some ultimates and get one good push here. I don't know if they're going to have time to get another grab. They should. Baby Bay's been charging it, well, actually pretty poorly.
Yeah.
2-minute charge rate for Baby Bay, but he's switched a couple times, and that can throw the numbers off.
He's struggling a little bit here to find his zone, but we shall see as Carpe, once again, just alive, ready to beam him. This is so brutal. They are getting slammed right now, Atlanta Reign. Whatever they attempt to do, it's like they're running into a brick wall. Baby Bay gets the parting shot on Sato, but that's not going to help things. 45 seconds left on the clock here for Atlanta Reign. We will have the grab. We will have the support ultimates up for Atlanta. But that's pretty much all you got going for you here.
It was a nice economic play from Philadelphia Fusion. A slam from Sato, a sound barrier, and they're able to get everything here. Sato usually seems more comfortable on the Winston, but this is a really nice shatter. Comes down just a moment before Pokepo is able to hit. This is it. Last fight for Atlanta. Got to find something here. They've got to grab.
Trying to make it happen. Can you find an angle where somebody's off hiding? Carpe on his own so he doesn't get brought into the mix as well. Baby Bay trying to herd him back in there with the rest of his team. D-Matrix on cooldown. Yep, throws it onto Carpe. Let's see. Can they find the kills? Instant collapse here from the Philadelphia Fusion. They're working together, grouping up. Trance is used by Boombox, but now it's going to be the trade. We do have the support ultimates online here, but it's not enough to save Masa. He goes down for the Atlanta Reign. We need an instant trade here from Atlanta, but it's not looking like it's going to happen.
Not able to get it done, and with Pokepo falling, this should be a Philadelphia hold. Defender's advantage, not even going to matter. Everybody is dying, everybody's falling. These opening picks from Philadelphia have completely nerfed the Atlanta final push.
Yeah, and it's not even Dogman feeding this time. It's just everybody's dying on the side of Atlanta Reign. It's a brutal beatdown. They felt like they were just running into the blender. But we'll see. What does the offense look like for Philadelphia Fusion right after this?
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. We're getting into it. The second half of Lunar Colony. Philadelphia Fusion on the offense. Atlanta Reign on the defense. Atlanta, they only picked up the 1 point. The first point of the 2 available here on the map, Hex. They got shut down.
1 and some change. 93.8% is the progress I made on second point, so Philadelphia Fusion's win condition.
But you know what changes,
more than that.
You know? You just want to get rid of it. It's just jingling and jangling in your pocket.
Yeah.
You're just trying to hand it away as fast as you can.
Personally, I fear change. But we'll see if Philadelphia can go into this 1-1, and I expect us to be going to 5
That was a
here.
delayed fuse there for a second.
All right, defensively, we do have a 3 support, 3 tanks. Mirror match on both sides. Both teams not wanting to take chances of getting out-comped, out-switched here. So going to the old standby. And I think Atlanta's final pushes were really hurt just by one person being a little aggressive and getting caught early on. They had so many opportunities at last point, but just got chunked down too early, too often. We'll see if Philadelphia can do something different. I like Philadelphia's rotations a lot better. Atlanta was just playing a very different style here. Philadelphia's going to try to take the high ground away.
Yeah, different angle of attack. And oh, we lose the main tank. Sato
Urster's
gets
low.
knocked onto the low ground. Erster, he is alone and he gets sniped by Boombox out in the open, nowhere to go. And is this the opening that Philly need here? They're down a man on the defense, but everybody's still healthy on the team. Philly just hanging on there. They're still taking a lot of chip, but
Oh my god.
just so much
Super aggro from Pokepo, but he stays alive for the moment. Baby Bay down, Pokepo down, that's it. It's gotta be it.
blowing each other up. Unfortunately there, that doesn't help things for Baby Bay. We'll lose Masa as well. He goes down, and then Dako to follow. So a very quick offense here for Philadelphia Fusion. 1 push, all it took for them. They're going to have a monstrous amount of time to work with Hex for the second point.
And what's got to have you excited as a Philadelphia Fusion fan is that Boombox seems to be returning to form. He used to be one of the top Zenyatas as far as just getting kills. Sometimes this league, he's looked like a Walkman, but back to old Boombox again. He's getting the kills that open up so many fights for the Philadelphia Fusion. This is snowball potential all over the place.
Sato's just looking for a chance. He's got that shatter. He's just looking for where that shield is going to be set up on the side of Pokepo. Getting in here. Mind games in the Rhine games. Who's going to come out ahead? So there's just tip for tat going back and forth. In the meantime, you still got Carpe off on an off angle, like trying to find an angle for the grab to get in here. Dako doing a good job of staying out of harm's way.
Well, Sato got the geographical advantage, the architectural advantage. He's just kind of ducking and hiding, recharging the shield behind the pillar. Pokepo trying to do the same, but getting chipped down. Allied Bubble from Zarya is down.
Whoa, 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 that was a lot of pressure. The trance is out, and now we're gonna have the grabs coming into the mix. Sound barrier here is Philadelphia Fusion need to kill this. They need to wipe them out immediately, or it's not gonna happen. We're trading back and forth, and now Atlanta Reign with the sound barrier gonna come in, but there's the shatter. Sato, he waited so patiently, doesn't pay off though, because they have yet to make any real progress on this point for the Philly Fusion.
And some of it you're thinking it may be going well because they're making Atlanta use ultimates, but Philadelphia emptied the piggy bank there, threw in everything that they had.
I think you cursed him.
Yeah, the late shatter from Sato looked good, but the problem was that Baby was so charged up, they were able to burn him down so quickly.
Well, I think Sato, that one swing with the hammer, he took so much damage. Boombox was like, ah, trance!
Yeah.
And that's what started everything, but because he trances first, then the Atlanta Reign can be delayed with their trance. Each time they're gonna get a little bit more value out of their ults, and they just snowball it from there. So, Philly, gotta get those nerves in check. Gotta get those nerves in check. Keep your cool, lads. 4 minutes 40 on the clock, and no progress made on the second point. Atlanta Reign so far doing a great job. Dogman's got the trance that just came online, but that's mirrored by Boombox. To be expected. To be expected, and well, Pokepo going down, he got swarmed.
It's those opening kills from Boombox are trying to give them a chance. He's got Transcendence up already, uses it offensively. The grab comes in. This is a huge window for Philadelphia. Baby Bay dies, he doesn't get grabbed.
Well, this is not gonna help things because Urster's down, Dogman as well. This is definitely going to be at the moment that Philly were looking for. They played patiently, and it's going their way. 1 tick to pick up, or we're gonna get a contested time for 2. It's not gonna happen. It's going to be the Hail Mary here right at the end. Masa's waiting to leap on. Gonna run right into it. Instant death, and Philly tie up the series 1-1.
It's all about Boombox getting those opening kills and charging his Transcendence fast. Great ultimate tracking, knowing that you can use Transcendence aggressively there before Baby Bay gets his Graviton. You focus Baby Bay after, you win the fight, you end up tying up this series. The Philadelphia Fusion, off the back of their support play, are back in it. We're going to the half 1-1. Let's hear what our crew has to say.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
The Reign are still trying to get their first win here in Stage 3, and they're locked into a tight one with the Fusion. It's all tied up at the half, back in the Blizz Arena, currently 1-1. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. We got a full Blizzard Arena. We got a sideshow who just ran from the back to get here. Do you know what that means? We have a telestration in just a minute, but first, we got to talk about Game 1, because I saw Carpet on a Widowmaker.
Yeah,
that made
buddy.
my heart happy.
Double sniper. It started off pretty well, actually. There were moments on Sanctum where we start to see the picks come through, but then I think reality hit us pretty hard.
Look at these. Look at these.
You know,
Honestly, incredibly good play from Philadelphia Fusion to bring out that crafted strat, but it's just not, it can't occupy the same space on the point. So eventually it just fell.
it's very season 1. Actually, it's very end of season 1 where like the Orisa set up with a double sniper. This one here, obviously, they start to get punished by poke pro on that Winston, and yeah, again, you just have to start switching away. If it doesn't work that first fight, you got to go.
As this game went on, it came down to the Zarya's Poco switching over to the Zarya. Baby Bay, of course, for Atlanta was running her on the other side. So far, what have you thought of Baby Bay? Because he had to grab Eaton, but this one locked it up in that first map.
I think Baby Bay's had a decent performance, honestly, and he's really grown into his role on the Atlanta Reign. He's not just a leadership figure for the team, he's also actually become a pretty good Zarya player, especially for a player that started on the bench for the San Francisco Shock and didn't have that much time to really prep to coming into his games for the Atlanta Reign. He's really grown as a player.
He's a playmaker as well. We do see some of those grabs getting eaten because he's very opportunistic. I think he's the kind of guy that would much rather just go now instead of waiting, potentially losing his opportunities. So that's one of the byproducts of that style of Zarya play.
We've got some insights for the folks at home today. This is Insights powered by Intel, and today we're going to take a look at that final grab from Baby Bay and how it won the fight.
Absolutely. So here's the setup. This is one of the most crucial fights that we saw in the entirety of Nepal. A bunch of ultimates up. Philadelphia need to win this. They've only got 12%, but it's these I want to focus on, the two support ultimates from Boombox and Neptuno, because Baby Bay is here with the grab ready to catch them up top. It's all about vision and prediction. They know that they're going to come top left. They grab them. One of these defensive support ultimates should come in to save them in this grab. but both of the supports die without being able to use it. So what goes wrong here? What actually happens? Let's take a look at it from a different perspective and you'll see. Both of these ultimates require line of sight to be able to save the rest of the players in the ground. But Boombox and Neptuno are caught behind the wall. They can't do anything. And it's this reason, here's a great view. Tanks in the front, supports at the back. There's no point them even pressing their ultimate buttons. It won't get anything done. So great grab placement, great understanding of what was required in that team fight, and Baby Bay clutches it up.
Excellent work there, Josh. Can I help you out? Can I be your dad real quick? See these little clear things? These go in your ear.
How are they going to frame the shot properly with you moving?
I can't tell which year that one is. I'll let you try yourself.
Chris
He's got the
Bucket,
weird
hey,
ones. He's got the weird ones. But we got to talk about our second map. Horizon was game number 2. And of course, we saw Atlanta scoring first. Then it was Philly's turn. Let's take a look at some of the big plays going down on this one. We're starting things off here with Daco on the Diva. The D-Mech gets back into it after the beat. Then they're, of course, able to take that first point. The second point is where they started to run into trouble, though, Mitch.
Yeah, the read is actually pretty good from Philly here. They don't go for anything Winston set up. They're expecting pretty standard goats, which is reasonable in this case. Sato especially looking very good on the Reinhardt in this match, which is something that he's actually got a bit of criticism for in recent times. The Shadow's been very well set up. The timing's been excellent. So I really can't take too much away from them there. I want to see defensive setups with the Winston 3-3 because I think that's one of their biggest strengths and the signature part of their gameplay. But again, against that Ryan composition, go with the Ryan 3-3.
If I'm the Philly coach, I'm saying, Sato, just do what you did on Horizon. Just keep knocking them to the ground. We should mention, though, that yes, these two teams are playing today, but in just 2 weeks, we're going to be in Atlanta. Yes, we're going to the Atlanta homestand, and we got so many great matches going down there. A lot of the teams that are in the bottom half of our leaderboards, but that means there's going to be a lot of close games. And a lot of people are excited to see the Shanghai Dragons, but personally for me, it is a huge weekend for teams like the Fusion, the Reign, and the Defiant.
I think this could be another case where the Atlanta Reign get a boost from the homestand and go on a bit of a spree. We saw that from Dallas. It was a fantastic experience for those guys, and their performance was boosted even when they came back home. So Atlanta Reign need these wins at their homestand to be able to make a run for that 12th place in the play-ins. They have to start at their homestand, playing those home games.
Yeah. A lot on the line for even Philly and Shanghai there, who may even still have chances for this stage playoffs on the line at that event.
Guangzhou's not out of our season-long playoffs yet, but they have 2 big matches going down in Atlanta as well. Guys, that is going to do it for our halftime coverage here in the building. Blizzard Arena, are you ready for map number 3? I got great news. It's coming your way after this.
And when it comes to in-game communication, if they say some words in Korean, I understand like some of them that have to do with the enemy or some abilities or something like that.
처음부터 게임 많이 하고 서로 이제 얘기도 이제 영어로 많이 하려고 하다 보니까 언제부턴가 이제 좀 자연스럽게 친해지게 된 것 같아요. 이미 많이 친해요.
There we go. We're back into it. We just got the halftime show. Puckett, the absolute hero, looking out for our boy Josh. He's still, you know, young. He's still figuring things out. Which ear does it go in, Hex?
Those are like custom molds too.
Exactly.
How does it fall out? Like I have a little, you know, like crummy generic one, and I have to stick it in my brain to hear anything on the desk, and it doesn't fall out.
Because you're just you're like a sub player, you know, from the desk. You're not.
Right.
They're not going to
They
give
don't want
you
it. They don't
the
want it
top
invested
tier.
in me. Yeah.
Exactly. The ear molded and all that.
If I was in a football mini camp, I wouldn't have a number on my jersey. You know, it's like, we're not even silk screening you.
Gotta say though, really happy with the insights. You know, Josh, he's
Yeah.
still figuring that
Oh,
part
that
out,
was
but he
great, yeah.
definitely knows Overwatch, and he definitely gave us a perfect view on why that play works so well for Baby Bakes.
Right.
It's true. Those support ults were up, and they all died.
Right.
What happened?
And it's actually interesting too when you see some of these really wonky looking grabs of like, well, you could have got 5, but you hit a pillar instead. A lot of that is to try to isolate the team from these game-saving ultimates that are going to happen. But we've got a great set on our hands between two teams who really need it to try to separate themselves from the middle of the pack to get into our season-ending playoffs. We are 1-1 going into our third map, so really in a best-of-3 right now. And we're going to Numbani, where Atlanta have reigned supreme, 3-0 on it. Fusion also a good record at 2-1. Hybrid, so very much like our first point, you know, you capture the point and then you unlock a payload and you push it a little bit. Pretty easy. We've introduced the concept of points, and now we're introducing the concept of payloads.
Exactly. And you get behind it and you push, and it doesn't have wheels. And you ask yourself, how is that possible? And the answer is, we don't know. It's Overwatch. It's a game. What's also a game is what Carpe's doing with our feelings right now. Are we going to see it? No, we're not.
No. If anyone is going to play the Genji, it would have been EQO.
But
a little bit different of pool.
it's been a while since we've seen the ninja, since we've seen the blade.
So Sato's very likely coming out here just to maybe get a scout on, but they're gonna roll with this. It does seem like they want to run a Sombra. Poco is on the Hanzo. All right, yeah, let's do it. DPS. Now, Numbani has been a lot like this lately, and you can run very standard on this, and I think when Philadelphia is on defense, they will run a Winston defense on this. However, offensively, it can be very good for Ifara, knock people off the edge, knock them into position to get hit by arrows. Huge blast off the edge. You like that position? Well, too bad. It's mine now.
Perfect, and Boombox now gets to just be a little bit of a thorn in their side. He is going to dodge, but then that's opening it up. It's drawing the attention of Baby Bay to himself. That's perhaps leaving the rest of his team vulnerable, and you will lose Dogman. Sato goes down, but that's still an opportunity here for the back line to get in and do some work. Sombra, Tracer, they are the deadly duo that can just catch anybody out of position and insta-give them.
Yeah, it's fine for Sato because he's going to be back into the fight as well. Very mobile tank, very good at disruption, and they're still just chipping it away. And now they're locked in the room here, and it's just going to be death from Rockets. Going all in, keep going in.
But Dogman made a change. He's on Ana now, so the extra healing is going to come through. Taco dies at an off angle, though. He was not in line of sight for Dogman. He could not do anything about it, Dogman. But he survives to keep fighting another day. He may be able to get a fresh mech back.
Well,
there it is. Nathan Sleep, EQO getting denied.
I'd already written his obituary. A nice sleep that happens there. I don't know if it's going to be enough as the kills come in. Neptuno gets back on that pistol of old, like we know the assassin mercy he can be. Presses up Poco as well. This one's taken a little bit, but it's just Baby Bay on the point. So
Brody, there's a grab. Mines, and Baby Bay dies. Oh, this is just heart-wrenching. It won't end, Hex. It just keeps going. We're down to 2 minutes on the clock. If anything, this is just a fight that lasted a minute and a half, and Atlanta Reign, they bought a lot of time for themselves.
You'd like that grab back.
Yes,
You would really like that
kinda
grab
would.
back. It was ultra ambitious. Maybe his team gets in there. If it works, he looks like a hero. Since it doesn't, we say, you want it back. The benefit of hindsight, as it were. Philadelphia gonna make wholesale changes, except Carpe is gonna stay on the EMP. It's so important to win this first EMP fight, so that the rest of your team, who just switched heroes, can start charging up their ultimates.
Oh, he nearly gets it. So close to getting that hack off. Denied the sound barrier. Not gonna happen though. Atlanta just gonna go powering through into the Philadelphia Fusion front line, running right over Sato and Neptuno.
If he saw where the Lucio was first, that's a mistake, because you want to go for the hack first in that scenario then. Go for the hack, then you peek out, and you get the big EMP, and there's going to be no supports to try to back it up. I'm not sure what his perspective was on that.
I think he got that the fighter detected. He started to flicker, right, when you're about to come out of stealth, maybe just decided to pull the trigger. That was painful. Not going to help here. Let's see. Philly still taking the fight to Atlanta Reign. Baby Bay trying to make up for it. He's working his way up to that grab. 73% and counting. It's looking like it's going to be back online for this next fight. Carpe's still got a long way to go on that important ultimate, and a Hail Mary Shatter just thrown out there by Sato. Doesn't really get anything.
Yeah, it's important to know that Philadelphia's made switches off of that Sombra. Carpe is now back on the Zarya, and Poco is in on the D.Va. It's very likely to try to deny some of the effectiveness of an Ana biotic grenades. Right now, Atlanta just taking it to Philly. Right outside of spawn.
Yeah, they're spawn camping. This is fantastic. This is the kind of confidence you need to have right now if you're Atlanta. You just got bodied, fair to say, on Lunar Colony. You allowed Philly Fusion to get back into this fight. Time to bring the hammer down and take the lead again.
Atlanta is connected, has connections to a team that a lot of people consider the best spawn campers of all time and Selfless. So no surprise that Atlanta wants to run this style.
Keeping it up, Bionades raining in from Dogman. That's creating opportunity here for his team. And Baby Bay, Poco, they're charged up, and Baby Bay's just full bore now.
This just hurts if you're Philadelphia, because you can't even come out your front door. They're gonna have to go down back right, go all the way around the stairs again, and these spawns are far away, and any extra second is huge. We're below 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're below 2 minutes, and that, just to point out, the payload reverses its progress if you're not on it. If you leave it for a while, it starts going back whence it came, and so they're losing ground, Philly Fusion, right now. May have overstayed their welcome to Atlanta. They got to be careful. They're playing it so safe, just backing off as a unit. Oh, this is getting a little on the edge. Back out, reset, and we can take the fight on our terms in a moment. Baby Bay very close now to the grab. We're following Carpe now because he's got his. He needs to keep eyes on Daco. Last thing he wants is for this to get eaten. Urster, though, with the rally, decides now's the time to take the fight. Atlanta Reign looking to pressure him back. Daco with the lob. Sound barrier's up. It's going to save him.
He forced out the sound barrier. The shatter will come down post that, but no one's able to follow that up. No one in position to follow it up. So we're at a stalemate in the corner here. Still grabs willing to be exchanged, yet to be exchanged. First one to pull the trigger is going to be Baby Bay. Daco!
There it is. Making the plays. Eats that grab. Carpe, well, he wishes he had that one back. There you go. Balance in the universe. The yin and yang of Zarya play. And this is, once again, the Atlanta Reign just pummeling the Philadelphia Fusion, continuing to mount the pressure. EQO with that nade, no heals for him. He goes down.
Hey, Daco's just one of the best playmaking divas that we've got in the league. He hits bombs that a lot of divas don't hit. He negates ults that a lot of divas won't. So when Atlanta had him out of the roster, that's when everyone's just questioning, well, where's Daco? What's going on with Daco? He's been such a bright spot of this squad. And now Atlanta, super aggressive on this hold, has pushed Philadelphia all the way back. And Philadelphia, they're gonna have to wait for a legendary Poco Bomb, but it's hard to find against the 3-3. Daco nearing it again.
Oh, and he gets slept as well. Over the top, let's see. Baby Bay beams down Neptuno. Sato drops next, nowhere to hide. Now if you're Philly Fusion, you gotta swing for the fences because this is it, we're in overtime. Boombox and Poco using their ults, just trying to make something happen, but the Atlanta Reign are staying so tight together on this team. There's no weakness in the defense. They are constantly just bringing the hurt. Philly, this is it, now or never. Take down Poco.
A solo grab onto him actually means that Dogman can save his life with the nano boost. Neptuno trying to open it back up. A first kill for Philadelphia in quite a while.
We lose on Masa. Okay, now is this do they start to find some opportunities here on the side of Philly? It is overtime now. They are not allowed to leave that cart for an instant. Urster and Pogpo giving ground, but they're still in this. Oh, the stun going on to Pogpo. He was right on the shatter as well. An opportunity now for Philadelphia Fusion. But the thing is here for Atlanta Reign, it's fine. Yeah, Philly, they can't leave the cart. You still have time to recontest before they even make it to the second point.
Yeah, Urster did pop Rally late, so that armor will start dissipating in a little bit. So you maybe want that one back, but Rally is not the biggest of deal. Dogman nearing another nano boost, and that one can go on to Baby Bay to get a Graviton because Poco is already there. Now you have to touch, you have to contest though.
There's a contest right on the doorstep. Okay, who is going to flinch first now? Carpe gonna get the grab.
Inside.
Does he find it? The nade is in. Dogman with the boost. Baby Bay bringing the pain. Is he gonna stay alive? He needs to barely do it. There's the grabs coming in on both sides. And this is going to bring Atlanta right on top of the payload and into their deaths. Oh, they were so close to having the perfect defense on the side of the Atlanta Reign, but the Philadelphia Fusion will find a way. They will pick up a second point in overtime and get more seconds to work with in the bank.
Just taking way too much chip damage before the ultimates start coming out. You saw Baby Bay tried to hide behind that card. Desperation throughout the grab, but not enough. And then everybody at half health, even from shooting from inside the grab, you're able to get kills if you're Philadelphia. And they have turned, well, chicken poop into chicken salad here. They're making something out of this map.
This is Philadelphia Fusion once again showing that grit they made a name for. Essentially, Sato out in the middle of nowhere. He gets slammed, and that's going to send the Philadelphia Fusion back to spawn. So, Atlanta Reign, admirable, admirable, we'll put it that way. Like, I admire their defensive play, getting in there, getting aggressive, trying to set the pace. But we do see that happen a lot with the teams where they start to flinch at the very last instant.
I mean, Overwatch is a huge momentum-based game here, but it is going to be the last solid push for Philadelphia to try to close out Numbani. They have a Shatter. They can play this kind of slow because Poco is getting to self-destruct. It's a great point for self-destruct, and Boombox has Transcendence about online.
Poco doing a good job here with the shield management as well. And there's the Shatter. Well, just throws it out there, but hey, that's still going to connect with two. Not quite able to take advantage of it, though. So we continue to stand and stare at each other angrily here. Pokepo's swinging away. Philly right now coming out ahead on the poke battle, though, because Daco is taking a lot of damage. There's the sound barrier going down. Are they going to survive this? Yes, they will. Grab gets used by Baby Bay. That opens it up. And Daco with the plays, eats Carpe's grab, takes that out of the fight. They don't even need to worry about it anymore. Sound barrier goes down for Philly Fusion, but now the pressure's really on. The Atlanta Reign trying to just snuff them in. The staircase, got to kick them down. And this is it. Atlanta Reign will deny the Philadelphia Fusion a third point.
Daco, the playmaker, eats two ultimates, two Graviton surges during this map, and what looked like to be the best defense ever from Atlanta turns into only a very good defense from Atlanta, as Philadelphia is unable to finish this map. We will see if Atlanta fares better on their offense when we return.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
With it.
So now, Hex, we get to see the other side of the coin. It happens that we have a first half and a second half where the teams switch sides. Atlanta Reign now going to be on the offense after an excellent defense. Weren't quite able to get the job done. They couldn't quite deny that second point. It did look like they were going to have the full glorious spawn camp a la San Francisco Shock, but wasn't meant to be this time.
It's a huge shatter at the end there to close out the fight. And now we are going to see Philadelphia on defense here. It's going to be interesting what Atlanta wants to run on offense. It looks like it's going to be pretty standard out of the gate unless they see some opportunities for swaps. But we expected Philadelphia to run a Winston defense here, so that is the difference between these two teams. A Reinhardt 3-3 on offense, a Winston 3-3 on defense, and it's all about how fast can Sato charge his Primal Rage. Kind of want to drop down and jump up, get the landing damage, get all the cleave damage, multiple targets at once.
Yeah, there's the bubble, and they give it to him. They're out of there. Poke instantly clipped. And look at that, Sato already up to 50% on the Primal.
He should jump this. He's going to jump it. I mean, what are the real threats right here?
Dying.
I mean, for Atlanta, there's nothing that's actually going to kill Sato, and that's about exactly how you write it up if you're playing the defense there, especially the Winston defense. Nearly 70% already on Primal Rage. And when Primal Rage comes up, you can fake that you're going in, let them in, and then you see that big gap on the edge of the city, knock them into the skyline.
Give him a close-up view. Up the ground. And already they are. There it is. Once again, Sato. Right over the top.
90 plus.
Going for it, and now he could just try, go for the Primal, and then start lobbing him all over the place. Like softballs, he doesn't care, straight into the mix. And they do a very good job of disengaging, actually, Atlanta. I thought that would go a lot worse for him, considering he was getting into the middle of the pack.
That's why I think you let them in a little bit more before you go with that Primal Rage. And he didn't even really commit to go down the stairs and try to isolate a support in the corner. So the Primal gets up quickly, but he gets very little value.
Yeah, that is definitely it. Atlanta should be feeling good about it. Dogman wants to stay alive. He chooses life, and he is going to get Trance up and running. Erster with the rally as well. Oh, there's a tick of progress on the point for Atlanta.
Carpe's got to be thrilled. Carpe can get his Graviton up. There's no Transcendence to defend it. And it's going to be up to Dako to come up with another huge ult in the gate. Popo out of the fight. Boombox, another opening kill.
EQO is an assassin, man. He just keeps finding these stunts on Popo that sets things up. And the Atlanta Reign, they are going to be going back to spawn. Yeah, Baby Bay is just like, get in there and die. Right now, right now. Do not buy more time. Do not collect $200. Go straight back to spawn. Get with the rest of your team. And do not feed any more ult charge over to Philadelphia Fusion on the defense. You do not need to make their defense more effective.
You make a great point with the bashes, too, to get in there and knock down the shield and allow Boombox to hit these salvos of these volleys, rather, onto the opposing Rhine. Sato's got Primal again. There's a Graviton up. You'd rather just use one to win a fight if you can. Atlanta's not going to walk up there and let you knock him off the edge. They're just going to play slow, play on the point.
Yeah, Sato going in. He's working his way up. He's still got, I mean, he's got that Primal already, so if they commit into this, it could get dicey. There's the grab used. Someone negating Sato, but you lose Dako before you can get a fresh mech up. Still, that does take Poco's mech out of the play. So we are trading back and forth right now. Sato barely hanging on. He's got to run away and hide, but he still somehow finds a kill on Baby Bay, and that's not going to help things here for the offense.
He had him on the stairs the whole time. Both of the allied and personal barriers had to be used. And now it is just 3 alive. Stagger kills very likely, but you don't want to overextend up here and get booped off by a Lucio, who you know is lurking up there.
They're hanging in here, just hoping that their teammates are going to be able to get back into this fight, it looks like. Philadelphia Fusion do not want to make a mistake that's going to cost them this defense.
Well, Masa's up there playing bouncer. You go up there to try to deal with the other two that you see, the Brigida and the Zenyatta, there's a very good chance you get knocked off the edge and you lose it. So Atlanta has actually now has a couple players in a strange position because they didn't die during that.
Bubble up, Popo again! Popo, he's so low! Do we have anybody here that can save him? It's that's just everybody across the board. Oh no, Masa uses the sound barrier as well, hoping to just save the team, but with 10 seconds left, I guess he had to throw it in there. Last ditch effort, and it just does not come up with anything good after such an excellent defense for Atlanta Reign. It's a hard hold.
It's why we tout Sato's Winston ability. He's charging his ult faster than anybody else on the server. Every 55 seconds, there's a Primal Rage. He's got Primal Rage kills, and then the disruption. You can't take that top path if you know that there's a possibility of Primal up because it's just suicide.
Oh, there you go. Grins all across the board there for Philadelphia Fusion. That's got to feel good for them. Coming out on top on the third map, we will have the fourth and potential final map coming up right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Welcome back, Mika Burton here. Philadelphia Fusion is up 2-1 against Atlanta, and I got to talk to the Fusion at the half about their recent team comps. I asked them about the increase of Carpe and EQO on DPS, and they told me that letting their players branch out is not only effective, but a good morale boost. So keep an eye out for more of that in the last map and as the season continues. Similar and Hex, back to you.
Thank you, Mika. And yep, that kind of lines up with the theory. Yeah. Right now, we know that Carpe is one of those players who despises the current meta. He wants to play Widow. He wants to play DPS. He wants to get in there. And EQO, same thing. These are guys, we hit on this at the beginning of the series. These are guys who made their names as being dominant damage dealers. Yep. And they've been shoehorned into a meta that doesn't allow them to play that.
And while I feel for them and I want them to be happy and healthy and mentally sound, the best teams and the best players adapt. But I think it's really smart from coaching perspective, from a team perspective, just cohesion-wise of like, hey, maybe we're just going to let him play Widow on one of these stages.
Exactly.
Just put him in the right spot. Just put him in the right spot mentally. Maybe Sombra's more his speed, but it's definitely not Zarya. Zarya's not Carpe's bag.
You gotta play around your players, man. Even if the meta is there.
That's
you gotta
true.
try and find some ways to make them shine.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what? Carpe's not a god tier player? Because he can't play Zarya? He doesn't want to play Zarya? Come on. Like, you gotta make something happen.
I think we're starting to see that now, especially since we've seen teams, Chengdu it up. Chengdu showed early on, like, hey, this could work. Houston has actually directly attributed their change in compositions to playing against Chengdu. Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of variation, a lot of different things coming out here. Speaking of such, Philadelphia's on offense. You don't really know yet what they want to run here on offense on Havana, our beautiful new map here. As you guys can't see it, unfortunately, but Settler starts salsa dancing.
That was good. Carpe's in the back line. He's also good. Gonna back out of there. And well, Philly Fusion on the offense, just starting to push that payload. Guys, if you're new to this sort of map, you don't have the points like you had on the last one that you have to cap and then get to push the payload forward. Here, just payload, just points. How far can you push it? And right now, EQO is looking to push some rockets in.
They can still push us. It was such a cool setup from Sato to just hold on to that ledge. They didn't really even see him there, but then allows you time to get your allied bubble up so he can drop in, get all that disruption, and start hammering in rockets. Right now, EQO is just chasing people down. He's got them segmented in the house, and it's been a ton of free push here early on. It's just Poco. There's one kill from Masa on the boombox, and that's, unfortunate, but you have a Mercy on this squad, too, because you're running the Pharah. So just bring them right back to life. All Philadelphia right there as they continue to push through here. Looks like they're making changes, though. Several people back at spawn. I think they're anticipating already going into second point, and they don't want to be that far behind in the tank ultimates here as they go forward. They are going to keep Carpe onto the Sombra, which Sombra has been pretty dominant on this map.
It has, and this could still work as well because Carpe's going to have that EMP, so hey, you don't have your ultimates? Well, it's fine because Carpe can just make it so that, Atlanta don't have ultimates of their own. Yeet, there it is. Right over the top, everybody hacked, everybody EMP'd. Do Philly need ultimates to win this fight? The answer is no, and they pick up the first point here on Havana, making it look easy. And in that whole mix, well, now you're gonna have some guys who are starting to get close to those key ultimates. Poco's nearly got Grav.
That's just confidence in the rest of your team, too, because they hadn't won this first point yet. But they send 3 back anyway, knowing that they have an advantage. They're not going to lose any position. And then, now, look at this. You've already got 88% in your Graviton Surge. If you just switch now, you'd have 0. And this is ridiculously good for Philadelphia. And it's also so important because you use that EMP to cash in on everybody else getting up there. And you're not even behind on comp now. You're not even behind on ultimates now.
It's so sick. The mind games. This is looking great. Way more polished here for Philadelphia Fusion. Clearly some thought put into this offense, and they've hit the ground running. They're looking, well, they're getting right through a major choke point where we can see defenses really set up and burn time off the clock because you have all these high grounds and nooks and crannies to contest, and you have to dig them out of there. No, Philadelphia Fusion just batter their way through that defense immediately.
Oh, it's all these little high grounds too. You see the tanks here in the distillery that Sombra is going to play off of. Sombra's picked about 42% of the time on Havana versus 36 the rest of every other map in this stage.
He's got that EMP online. Oh, finally. Well, the ult's going off, but
that's fine.
That's fine.
You use Transcendence because you tried to save everybody. That's completely fine though, because you're going to get the swing back with the EMP.
EMP, grab, rally,
you rally. You always, you almost always rally in first and see if you can catch somebody unawares as the Brigida, because you're getting a little bit of speed boost if someone's a little too far out. You get the shatter on them. If they're not behind the shield, you get the shatter on them. So rally also charges really, really quick. A lot of teams will just toss it right in there to initiate fights. And you know, what's better to initiate fight than rally to me?
Surprise! There's the grab. The hack gets taken advantage of here. Neptuno, the one to kick things off with a kill on Pokepo. Man advantage for Philadelphia Fusion, and Atlanta Reign instantly just backing off. Gonna get right on top of that payload though, and this is going to be difficult now for Philadelphia Fusion, or rather for the Atlanta Reign to stop the Philadelphia Fusion from pushing through.
Dogman got cut off from his team. He ended up behind the payload, and you see where the rest of his team is right there. So the grab didn't quite get everything that they wanted early, but it seems like Atlanta has designs on recontesting this. Perhaps just try to force ultimates out of Philly. They do just that.
Well, there's an EMP. That's an instant dead Pokepo without a shield to hide behind. The focus fire is just too good on the side of Philadelphia Fusion, and they are finding kill after kill. EQO finally falls into the hands of Dako, but it took him so long to find that one kill that this is still going to cost the Atlanta Reign. Dako gets demeched, and one after another they fall. This is certainly going to be a Philadelphia Fusion point unless somehow the magic happens and 3 kills come through for the Atlanta Reign. They refuse to say die.
A boosted Brigida, unkillable, support hero, just taking people down, does a ton of hero, chases people down all over the place. And what I thought was going to be an eco push from Atlanta to try to get a bunch of ultimates out from Philadelphia ends up being a 1 fight. However, Philadelphia was able to get a lot of damage done during those fights as well. They're going to have another grab. Poco's charging these rather quickly.
He is, and he's going to hide one right onto the edge here. That brings him in. What do we have to counter? Not a whole lot. Baby Bay still going to be able to take down Sato, though. That works out just fine. No main tank now for the Philadelphia Fusion. No shield to hide behind.
Well, Boombox used an aggressive Transcendence there, and they just threw an anti-heal at him. Just throw the Biotic Grenade over the top. Guess what? No one's getting healed. The only person who's going to live through that is Boombox. And of course, you know it's going to be wide open because there's no Diva to stop that anti-heal.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's been some poor execution of ultimates from Philadelphia, and what started off so well for them, and even economically coming into second point was decent for them, has simply not been executed properly.
Well, now they're getting a grab. Did they manage to snag anybody on the other side of the wall? Doesn't look like it. But still, as far as the damage is concerned, Philly with a slight lead. The rallies are coming through. Shatter used by Sato. Pinned to the wall is Sato like a butterfly, and that is going to be the end of that push. Philadelphia Fusion right now is getting dicey. They're down 30 seconds. Carpe. He gets spotted immediately.
He's on the back cap. He gets anti-healed. He has to translocate out. Still getting hunted down. Will have to get out of there, but this is the last push here for the Philadelphia Fusion's offense. And they got nothing. Nothing to work with at all. However, the other side still pretty much very much nothing. Pokepo has Shatter. Masa should get Sound Barrier. Neptuno on the other side can say the same thing.
Exactly, they do. But are they going to make the value count here? There it is. No, Pokepo not going to connect with the Shatter. Puts it straight into a shield. Philly with what looks like such a strong push to kick off the advance towards the second point. They've been bogged down, and now they need to get the job done and just whittle each other down until Poco gets a grab. Sure, that's it. There's the grab going in. Where's your follow-up? The sound barrier comes online and Mop from Masa just in the nick of time to keep the team alive. And now you're going to get the boost going in. This could be the shift the other way as Philadelphia Fusion are now going to be the ones to drop players. Grab is thrown in by Baby Bay.
Gets negated there, but another giant anti-heal goes down on too late. And that is where the push will end. The Atlanta defense holds pretty stout there on Havana. And it's just execution. It was simply execution from Philadelphia failing. I don't understand the aggressive Transcendence that ended up getting anti-healed.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought the shield wasn't in front of him, but that's one of those cases where you have one of the most important ultimates in the game in Transcendence. Everybody alive, Zenyatta immune, but the Biotic Grenade makes it so people can't get healed. We call it purple. I call it purple anyway. The little health bar over top, says
Yeah.
purple. That's usually the call out from the players as well. I'm purple, I'm purple. Can't be healed, so Transcendence, useless. You're just a big glowing light.
That's the nice thing of having Ana in play. Also, the added damage, the straight heals. It's fun to see. Dogman coming back into his own as well. We saw him with a really tough start to the series. He was dying a lot, perhaps the pressure, nerves a little bit, just had to kind of find his stride. But now, definitely not the case. He's bringing the pain. Baby Bay with the grab. This is into the wall here, it looks like. Yeah.
Rock gets it right into the wall. The EMP comes out just on the other side. So, yeah, the EMP came out, but no one can do anything. Doesn't matter.
Just
gets
timing.
It just a fraction of a second before it comes out. Yeah, and it did feel like they were getting EMP, but never felt like they could get a good fight, which is very odd. Because Sombra on that second point, there's so much high ground to work with. There's so many pathways to manipulate, but Philadelphia was never in the follow-up distance. And I think that's something they're still working on with this newish, for them at least, composition, running a Sombra in this mix, and they're still trying to work out the very basics of it. Dako, who we've lauded all day, is one of the better divas here, is going to try his hand at Sombra for, I believe, the first time today. I don't think he has a ton of playtime on it, actually, overall on the season.
There's a real chance here for the Atlanta Reign to tie up the series 2-2 and take us to a final map 5. Not the most dominant offense from Philadelphia Fusion. So Atlanta, let's see. They're keeping it together for now. It's just going back and forth. No craziness coming out from Atlanta. No Pharah or anything to throw a wrench in things here for Philly. It's very much a tit-for-tat sort of scenario, except that Philadelphia Fusion, no Sombra on their side. So Carpe, does he get the job done on the Zarya?
Oh, it's a super early ultimate from Sato. Doesn't end up turning into any kills. A lot of people on Philly have taken a lot of poke here. EQO's gonna hit that rally as soon as he has it, as will Ersker.
So the armor's coming in, but Sato, oh man, the focus fire is just so brutal. For an instant, he's gone. Boombox with the trance. Now you can snuff him if you want, but they got nowhere to hide. So you're not even going to commit ultimates to this fight. If you're Atlanta, you're going to get that six-pack going for the next one.
You're going to win this fight with just a rally. That's a trade you take every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Dako, we don't really know how good his Sombra is. He's only played, I think, 4 minutes of the stage, 6 minutes overall on the season, something like that. It's minimal Sombra play from the Atlanta Reign overall, especially from Dako. But yeah, I've said it time and time again, I think it's really important that if you're going to switch to a Sombra, you have your Diva player do it. You let your Zarya stay on Zarya, let your Diva be your Sombra flex.
Well, there's Dako opening up.
That looks good.
That's pretty clean. Pretty clean indeed, and they are just rolling through to the first point here. Philadelphia Fusion, not a whole lot they can hope to do.
Oh, nice 5-man EMPs, already got 7 enemies hacked on this Sombra here for Dako. Good looking play. You use 2 ultimates there, you get the EMP, you get a Shatter, all very good. They build into each other.
We'll see the Shatter here, quick replay. Cart, yeah, Cart. Just right out of line of sight, opened it up. Philly Fusion, doesn't look like they're even able to contest. They tried, and they probably just got picked immediately as they came through the door.
I mean, they got Dako, so that's good. I think it might have been one of those things where they wanted to get ultimates out as well, as Baby Bay no longer has his Graviton Surge. So you're trying to do a little bit of a junk rush, reset your ult economy, trying to hold here. Otherwise, we're going to a map 5. Little yellow check mark on that little progress bar up above. That's all Atlanta needs to get to. And they've got a world of time, 3.5 minutes. That should at least be 3 attempts at this. But now Philadelphia did a good job of forcing out ultimates early. They're in the lead.
Yeah, they are the ones now with the advantage in that case. So how do they make use of it? Because they have to hold for a long time. 3.5 minutes on the clock here for Atlanta Reign on the offense.
I don't love that Dako switched off of the Sombra. When you have 3.5 minutes and you really only need 1 fight, why not just give it a couple of EMP shots? Most of these pros are charging EMP just a little over a minute.
Decisions taken. Seems like they had a strategy in mind, and this is what they're sticking to, as Dogman is going to have that chance to keep his team up. Sato, once again, dropping very low. Looks like they will be surviving, though, and Dako getting demeched. A little bit of a weakness here for Atlanta Reign.
Dogman just out of range of that self-destruct. It's launched back a little bit, and I think it's time to back up if you're Atlanta. You don't want to lose anybody here. You also don't want to lose Baby Bay's charge. Stick around, play on the edge, bleed out as much as you can, but you'd like to come back in here at 96%, get a couple of beams going, and then get the Graviton ready to go. However, Boombox holding on to the Transcendence, the best answer to Graviton Surge. And we'll see what what engagement happens here. Babyface gonna have grab first, not by a large margin, but it's a small window.
This is where the championships are decided. Babybay kicks it off, and Babybay running amok. Carpe and Sato both gone, dead, done. And that is the opening that Atlanta Drain needed. Babybay's just handed it to him.
Yeah, and I think that might be the difference between these two Zaryas. On the previous map on Philadelphia's offense, Carpe did not die at all. But Babyface is willing to take that chance. He's willing to grind in there and be like, yeah, maybe I'll feed, maybe I'll die, but if I don't, I'm the best player on the spot right now. It's just a Transcendence coming out, desperation time for Philadelphia, trying to get back in here, but Babyface takes out his opposing number yet again.
Yeah, the grab right into it. Carpe nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, gets beamed down. Neptuno with the sound barrier, just trying to make it happen here, but Boombox will fall, and Philadelphia Fusion, it's looking like they were not capable of holding, and it will be a 5th map in the series to decide who's going home tonight with the W.
After the very first stage of our very first map, I thought we might be going to 5. It could not be any closer between these two teams. Gutting it out. Atlanta at 7-11 needs a win. Philadelphia 9-8 needs a win. Someone's going to get it at map number 5 right after this.
Well, the Atlanta Rainhawks, they have definitely shown up to play today. They've tied the series hump 2-2. Philly looked like they were starting to get the momentum to swing their way, but just wasn't the case. Atlanta, they're showing that they can go toe-to-toe with some of the best.
Yeah, you mentioned to me during the break, watching the body language of Babybay and Dogman towards the end of that last push, was just leaning forward, getting angry, let's go, let's push it. And I think that is the big difference. Babybay is really trying to learn Zarya. And she's such a hero that you have to play on the edge because you want to be aggressive because you want to get charged. Then you want to use that charge to build up graph. But you can't die because then you lose all your charge and you have to save your bubble because you need to save your teammates. It's just, there's so much that goes into it. But then, you know, Babybay's always been considered one of the most mechanically gifted tracking heroes in the game. Tracking just a different kind of aim than kind of flick shots or what that. It's, I have my mouse on you and you're a painted target now. It's almost like I'm locked on. He's played heroes in the past, like a 76, Tracer that have similar type of aiming. And man, he just crushed that last push. Not single-handedly, of course, it's a team game, but he was the one showing up the kill feed, had high energy, got a lot of work done. And now we go to Ilios, map 5. You can see the scores for each team. 5-1 for Atlanta, 2-4 for Philadelphia Fusion. And Atlanta has been known to run some goofy stuff on this one. I don't think it's gonna be Torb anymore.
Yeah, it's not Torb anymore, sadly. It will get a Bastion.
You see right there, the flooded deadlift, 50% of his team's final blows. BabyBay had 18 of Atlanta's 38 final blows. That's the aggro Zarya we expect. And now, he's on the Bastion. And Philadelphia doesn't have anything to deal with this, really. Sato can't come in here. Oh, ring around the rosy so far, though.
I mean, that's all they're doing. Eventually, they're going to have to commit. There's Sato. He gets instantly stunned. Now the pressure's on. Trying to take advantage of this before they can set up the hard point, but this is still BabyBay going to get to dominate this space. You're in an uncomfortable spot right now if you're Philly, because if you show yourself, that's what happens. You get obliterated.
Early on, they did a lot of chip onto Poco, and Poco's supposed to be the one diving in there with defense matrix up so the rest of his team can come in. But you see, even on sentry mode, which is, well, not turret mode, or I guess configuration sentry, Bastion can do a lot of damage. Bastion kind of feels like a, you know, budget Soldier 76 at a lot of different times. He's got self-healing. He's able to do that damage from just regular walking around mode, and now he's already got configuration tank up. This is so frustrating for Philadelphia. So the plan is here, you maybe send in Poco with the defense matrix, Sato jumps in with an allied bubble from Zarya, and everybody follows up. You have to all in on a Bastion comp like this.
No, there's no halvesies.
No, Boombox sits back and he's hoping that they crack a shield and then they can get in here, but Atlanta's taking the fight to him.
Oh, buddy, you're not gonna have anywhere to hide here. Yep, instantly having to back off. Shield worthless, and they are going to go down one after another. It's Sato just going to work, or rather Dako going after work. He takes down Sato, and that is going to be the Atlanta Reign crossing the 50% mark. They got first control, so Philly Fusion right now. Goose egg on the board.
If Philadelphia can get on top of this, they can definitely win this, because Graviton is coming up. They've actually banked up Transcendence as well. Dogman on the other side of things used his Transcendence. Masa should be able to sound barrier here too. But man, if you get BabyBay in Sentry mode with the Supercharger from Orisa, everything's gonna melt.
Poke gets this. I mean, they're waiting. They're right on the edge. Primal's gonna be a thing. Sato can now just drop right down on top of him as well. He likes this sort of scenario, but do we get the supercharger thrown in by Poco? There's the sound barrier coming through. Bongo's down. BabyBay just gonna be wreaking havoc, melting him.
Yeah, it gets grabbed. A huge commitment from Philadelphia Fusion to try to win this fight, but it was absolutely required. If you're Atlanta, fine with this. Look at it. 92%, and now they switch comps, and they're not even in that bad of an ultimate position either, because it took everything that the Fusion had banked up to take down that bunker composition. Now one fight away, Atlanta Reign. Boombox has Transcendence, so gonna be able to hold on to that for a while, knowing that there's no Graviton Surge coming in. In fact, if you believe in yourself and your ability to hit shots as Zen, you could use his Transcendence aggressively, knowing that they just switched.
You don't have to worry about the grab. That's usually what the trance is there to counter. And Philly are going to play hard to get, hard to catch.
Keep eyes on Masa and Neptuno here too, since we do have the giant hole in the middle of the earth in the middle. Gonna be trying to pull people into there, push people into there. Masa gets very low, gets healed up though.
Right now, it's just tit for tat. They're going to take as much time to build up these ults. Dogman, he's doing a decent bit of work. He gets his trance online. So we're mirrored, essentially. Philly are just not going to want to use anything.
Atlanta's done a great job of building up these ultimates. Look at BabyBay, he's already at 60% on Graviton Surge.
Oh, there's Poco.
He got stunned and deleted. Well, you got to be careful now if you're Atlanta. Because as good as your opening bit was, getting to 95%, next time you're gonna fight is at the earliest 80-something%. So we are nearing a single fight situation here. Carpe's able to retain his energy because he's still alive, whereas BabyBay just fell. Graviton Surge going to be the name of the game. And I think more importantly right now is that Sato has his Primal Rage up, such a big disruptive ult, especially on Ilios. You can go into the hole, you can go over the edge, you can knock people about. Pokepo might be able to get there, though, at 75%. It depends on his leap and cleave. But he can't leap in because he's getting bashed every time.
Yeah, EQO right now is still living up to the Assassin's title, finding those stuns as soon as the opportunity presents itself. Not letting the tanks get comfy. Name of the game for him. Carpe kind of dancing around on the edge still. Looking for it, and this is just the poke battle. Trying to build up to these ults. Who's going to get the better one? In the end, Atlanta are now on top of it. And so there's the grab to kick things off. Looking for the solo on Sato, but Boombox is there with the trans. Pokepo still going with the Primal, and the sound barrier has to be committed here by Masa. Neptuno does the same. And does anybody die on either of these teams? Because we're at 99 to 99 now, Hex.
Everybody's throwing everything in right now. Both of the primals came, or actually only Pokepo's primal came out. Sato's still holding on. The tank ultimate's still alive for Philadelphia Fusion. Dogman has to use Transcendence as he's getting bashed around by the primal.
Yeah, it turns out he still has that one on cooldown, but Carpe's still a ways off the grab. Baby Bay at risk. Baby Bay at risk of getting cut off, but some good support there coming in. Going to force the primal Winston out, and Dako the Assassin finds the kill. We're traded, and there's Poke Bomb. There, it feels like we haven't seen one of those in a while.
Well, Carpe will fall off of the edge, but the huge advantage now in favor of Philadelphia. Only Erster and Dako alive, and Dako maybe trying to get the self-destruct of his life because he's the only one out there. And Philadelphia, after facing down a Bastion, gonna bring it all the way back.
Unbelievable, the staying power that Philly have, and they will take it. 100% to 99. The first point picked up for Philadelphia Fusion. Poco making it look like it's just another day in the office. Yeah, sure, we go to Game 5 all the time. Yeah, we run it all the way back from 99 too. That's fine.
It's been quite a while since we've had a giant impact from Poco. The Poco Bombs, he made his name. Philadelphia sells a t-shirt that says Nerf Poco. I've got one sitting at home. Haven't had occasion to use it lately, but a nice clutch play there. And wow, Atlanta just never able to recover after getting knocked off of their Bastion composition.
It's got to be frustrating if you're Atlanta right now. But now this is where the dreams are made of, Hex. This is where you run it back. This is where you get the job done. Sure, they're up 1-0, but that's fine.
It's been so close between these two teams. That's why it's so important, because in the middle of the pack, these teams are looking for separation. They've been unable to find it throughout this season. More than halfway done through the season, it's time to start separating the wheat from the chaff.
And into the intense staring match we go. Both Rhines just going to be swinging hammers at each other, looking for it. Just trying to build up the ultimate. Sato losing out on that duel. I mean, Atlanta, they're coming out swinging. They get into this first point control situation, right? Looks like we will have the contest, but that's going to cost Neptuno his life, and he is going to go down. Philadelphia Fusion just losing in the chip battle.
Pokepo just dominating the chip battle. Look at this. He's already got his Earth Shatter up, and just all those hammer swings come through, gets people down to half, and at a certain point, you don't have the resources to heal anymore. I mean, you can use Amp It Up if you're Lucio, someone's getting into Orb. Once a Repair Pack goes out, then very difficult as well. So Atlanta Reign will take first control again, this time in a mirrored composition, Reinhardt 3-3. And this is where you want to hold the stairs if you can. Force them to come around one side or the other. They're just going to bully their way in as Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, walk past. There's a Shatter waiting for you. Boombox forced to use his trance, and that may hurt things here because Baby Bay's working his way up to the grab. We lose Pokepo, and now this is going to be the Atlanta Reign backing off, giving ground.
Yeah, Pokepo gets isolated there, pushed out of position. They had to commit the Transcendence, you're right, so maybe Baby Bay finds an opening here. But you can't even keep fighting now. Mazda Earth are down.
Out.
Gotta go.
Back out. Now you're giving more ult charge over to Philly Fusion that they should have had to begin with.
Yeah, it's kind of fine though, because you're just holding on to control there. Philadelphia just flipped it out there towards the end. So 51% of the board for Atlanta. They do trail right now in this tiebreaker map. 1-0, so Philadelphia Fusion 1 point of Ilios away from wrapping up this series.
Oh, there's the grab to kick things off. Let's see, what are they capable of? Sound barrier used. Poco finding a defensive self-destruct onto Baby Bay.
This should be Phillies. Dogman got so low, he had to use Transcendence to just save himself. Now Carpe's got a wide open window if they even need it to try to win this fight with Graviton Surge. There's no defensive ultimates.
There's the back from Atlanta.
I mean, he can barrier, but it never feels as good as Transcendence during a grab. All right, Atlanta falling back. Philadelphia will take the percentage lead.
Percentage lead and ult lead here for Philly. And now it's going to be good because there's the grab to kick things off straight into the wall. Front row seats there from Carpe's perspective. And just like that, Atlanta Reign backing off once again. This is the brutal situation. When you lose players running this meta, running these strategies, you lose one, you might as well call the fight done. Get out and go back to spawn. Sato, however, getting cut off from the rest of his team. Might end up catching him.
Bit of an overcommitment. Both rallies now committed from both sides. EQ gets stunned, almost dies, still living right on the edge. Rallies are pretty good ult.
Rally is so good. Just so
Just
hard.
can't kill a Brig during a rally. It's just impossible.
1v6, no problem. Hold my bead, fam. So, into it now. Philadelphia Fusion, 4, soon to be 5, and they're just gonna have everything. And oh no, Carpe getting moved off the side. Blindsided, had no idea. Masa with the clutch kill there that could give Atlanta Reign an opportunity.
That's a match-saving kill right there. Carpe's walking in with Graviton ready to throw it into a team that just used their Transcendence. The math usually checks out that if a team doesn't have Transcendence and you grab at least a couple of them, you're going to win that. Carpe was looking to stroll in, hit Q, and win the match for his team. Masa comes up huge. Atlanta's still alive.
Atlanta's still alive, but those tools still here for Philly. And Carpe, now he's building up that energy, so we're at 75% on the board for the Atlanta Reign. Philadelphia Fusion. What is the name of the game? There it is. Grabs are getting hucked in left and right. Baby Bay the one to kick off the party. Self-destruct over the top from Poco. Nothing there. Shatter, not going to be the case either. And now is when the party kicks off. Daco going to be the one to find Carpe, but the damage is done in Philadelphia Fusion. Now it's all about the cleanup. Poco, I mean, this is going to take a little bit of a while to take out the kills, to get rid of them. Sato still in this fight. And the Philadelphia Fusion will lock down the series. They've taken it to map 5, but it will be 3-2, the final score. Philly getting the job done.
Carpe switches to Widow at the last second, just for good measure, just to feel what it's like, just to zoom in one more time. And Philadelphia Fusion, yeah, they're a scrappy team at 10-8. That was a win Atlanta needed. However, they are going to head into their home stand. It usually gives a team a boost. They got some winnable stuff ahead of them.
Yes.
The season playoffs are not out of scope. But the Philadelphia Fusion won in good fashion today. As close as it was, they were able to win 3-3 mirrors more often of the time, get some good execution. Carpe still has some work to do on cleaning up his Sombra, on cleaning up some of his approach angles, especially on his Zarya play. But overall, I think it's a really good sign that some of the mainstays for Philadelphia Fusion's run last year, mainly Boombox and Poco, started to have some better games.
Now they're starting to come into it. It looks like now it's just a matter of, getting Carpe happy with the situation, start getting that Sombra play in, working in the Widow, and we'll start to see them adapt to where the meta is going. I am being told we have an interview ready, so we'll go ahead and go to that.
Summoner Hex, thank you very much. I am standing next to Carpe from Philadelphia Fusion. Congratulations on your victory, Carpe. With today's win, you guys are now 2-2 in this stage. Carpe, how much confidence do you have that Philadelphia Fusion can make it into the Stage 3 playoffs? 자, 오늘의 승리로 이제 2승 2패. 지금 이제 스테이지 프롭이 굉장히 제가 봤을 때는 가능성이 많다고 생각을 하는데요. 카르페 선수는 어떻게 생각하시나요?
일단 저희가 이번에 이기면서 2승 2패가 되었고 아직 매치가 좀 남았는데 충분히 플레이오프 갈 수 있을 것 같다고 생각합니다, 이번에.
So with today's win, like Danny said, we are now, it's 2-2 into the Stage 3 playoffs, and I believe we do have a good chance of making into the Stage 3 playoffs. Good luck. And also, I really want to ask you about this one. Today we saw you play Widowmaker, and also a lot more Sombra. You're really flexing into more DPS heroes. Carpe, are you enjoying the games more now that you aren't stuck with Zarya? 자, 오늘 좀 어떻게 보면 위도우메이커 또 솜브라 좀 더 딜러 위주로 카르페 선수가 좀 더 많은 플레이를 보여주신 것 같아요. 좀 아무래도 자리아가 아닌 숨막히는 자리아 대결뿐만이 아니라 좀 딜러들도 할 수 있어서 좀 더 즐거운 경기를 하셨나요?
이제 좀 진짜 오버워치를 하는 것 같고 스테이지 4 때도 좀 딜러를 할 수 있었으면 좋겠어요.
Alright, now that I'm playing more DPS, I feel like I am really playing Overwatch. in stage 4, I really wish that I could play more and more DPS heroes. All right, thank you so much, Carpe. Summer has back to you guys.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you, Carpe, for the answer that just basically laid it all out there.
You can see him smile just when he hears the word Widowmaker. And yeah, it does feel like a very different game sometimes. The 3-3 competition kind of changed things up. Felt a little bit like a MOBA, not necessarily a first-person. What do we call it here? First-person action game.
Action game.
Yeah,
That's right. Careful there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings now as well. So the Philadelphia Fusion, they've saved it. They've done it. They are still in the running for the playoffs. As far as Atlanta are concerned, though, they've dropped out of it.
Yeah, 2-2. Not great. They're sitting at 12 for the stage 3 standings, but yeah, Atlanta, they just had the worst schedule so far. It's been very difficult for them. But the Fusion, you know, you kind of have to win out. 4-3 is usually the threshold to get into the stage playoffs, and then you have to have map differential as well. But like I said, not out of it. Just start playing some Sombra. Just play Widow for him.
Just get Carpe and you go into their happy place. And so, a player who was in his happy place today, brought to you by Omen, My HP, Boombox, our MVP.
Hit a lot of these shots. I thought Lunar Colony was Boombox's best map here too. He was able to take out his counterpart so many times, and the opening kills he got was allowing him to play aggressive with Transcendence. They also did a great job of tracking ultimates, knowing when those ultimates were going to be up, when to be aggressive with Transcendence, and he's just straight up hitting shots and opening fights in the best ways. And when Philadelphia was at their best last year, a lot of this was Boombox just hitting opening volleys, and that's where he made his name actually in the Overwatch World Cup. Was Boombox is one of the best volley peakers of Zenyatta of the entire player base.
Yeah, we saw that Dogman paid for that. At least at the beginning of the series, I think that altered his playstyle towards the end. The final 2 maps, I think Dogman started to play a bit more careful, didn't take as many greedy peeks around angles. But the first 2, it was just Dogman showing up. And it's tough. You have to relearn it. When you have that one-shot click potential, you're going to have to take that into account. But this is definitely not us done here for the day. Another 2 matches of Overwatch coming up, and we are going to be getting into Toronto Defiant versus the Guangzhou Charge next, right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.